Morning children, I am Mrs. Kavan and today I am going to take your literature class. Today we will be starting with novel, that is Robinson Crusoe. I'll be first briefing about the story, what is the story, and then we'll start with the lesson. So listen carefully and go through my videos. Robinson Crusoe is written by Daniel Defoe. He is an Englishman from the town of York in 17th century. Now when he was small, he had a desire to go for an expedition in sea, but his father wanted to take up his future, his career seriously, and he wanted him to become a lawyer. Now the story begins like this from your book. I am giving you a brief story at the moment. Robinson Crusoe was lost in an island because he suffered a shipwreck. Shipwreck means the ship got broken due to the sea storm. He was alone in the island, so he survived by himself. He built a house and cultivated all kinds of food. He tried to run away from the island, but he found it was difficult to do so. Then, after many years, he saw some indigents coming from other land. Indigents means native people who have already stayed many years ago. They had come to that particular land and had been staying for many years. They are the origins of that land. Now they were about to kill three men. Two men were shot dead and one of them managed to run away. Robinson Crusoe saved his life and the man thanked him. He named him Friday because he saved on Friday. They became good friends, Robinson Crusoe and Friday, and in and lived in that same island for many years. He helped him to survive in that isolated island. The indigents came again one day. Now Robinson Crusoe and Friday decided to save the prisoners and kill the this thing cannibals. Cannibals are the people who eat flesh, right? Now they were able to save two prisoners, and one of them was Friday's father, and other was a Spanish man. They stayed with them means like with Robinson Crusoe and Friday for few months, and then they rebuilt a ship again and went away. But Robinson Crusoe and Friday, they never left the island. They stayed there. Few days later, an English ship arrived to the island, and the mutants have taken control of the ship. They had tried to leave the captain on the ship and some sailors on the island, but Robinson Crusoe and Friday helped the captain and they killed those mutants. Mutants means sea pirates, and others left that island. The captain and the sailor, like now Robinson Crusoe and Friday got the ship and they returned back to England to his home. This is the brief of the whole story. Now I'm going to read the chapter. I ran away from my house to England to go to sea when I was 18 years old. Exactly 9 years later, I set out on another adventure when some dear friends asked me to help them trade in Africa. I left my tobacco farm in Brazil and sailed with them. We passed the mouth of great Amazon River and the great Orinoco River in the South Caribbean Sea. Then all other troubles began. A fierce storm began to blow, and for 12 days we waited for the waves to swallow us up. One man died of fever and two fell aboard. Robinson Crusoe's children was 18 years old when his father wanted him to become a lawyer, but he always dreamt of going out on sea voyages. When his father refused to let him take at least one journey, so what he did, he ran away with his close friends when they asked him to help him in trading in Africa. Now here trading means doing business with other countries. So he left his tobacco farm in Brazil and sailed with them. They passed Amazon and Orinoco River, which is in Caribbean Sea. And as they passed these rivers, their problem began. His misfortune began in the form of storm. They had to face fierce storm. Now here fierce means strong, dangerous and ferocious storm. The wind blew hard, tossing the ship on the ferocious waves for 12 days as if it would swallow them any time. In this storm, one man died out of fever and the two fell from the ship. As the wind died, "We must repair the ship," said our captain. "She will not reach Africa now. We will make for one of the Caribbean islands." But on the way, a second storm struck. The wind carried us far away from the coast, and we were terrified of what might happen. "But if the wind takes us to the land where the cannibals might eat us," I cried. As we all trembled in the tremor of these horrible thoughts, one of the men cried, "Land! Oh!" We ran from our cabins to look. At the same moment, the ship struck a sandbank about 2 miles from land. "Now they can come and kill us if the sea does not," I cried. "The ship will not hold much longer in this wind." The captain shouted, "Let down one of the boats." We managed to throw one of the boats into the water and we climbed on board. There were 11 of us at the mercy of God and the wild sea. We cannot stay afloat for long in such a high seas. I thought, "We shall all be drowned." We pulled hard on the oars and made for land like men going to an execution. As we came nearer, the land looked more frightening than the sea. Even if we reached the shore, the waves or the rocks will smash us into pieces. I shrieked to my friends. We rode on for another half a mile, then suddenly a wave as high as mountain rolled up behind us. It lifted us into the air for a moment and then threw us out of the boat and into the wild sea. At one man died and 2 men fell from the ship. At last the storm stopped. The ferocious wind stopped blowing. The captain of the ship said that the ship needed to be repaired. Now here repaired means to mend. Now when they reached the Caribbean island they should get the ship mend, or else it would be difficult to reach Africa. But before they could reach the island and get the ship repaired, another storm came. The storm was ferocious, dangerous than the first time, more worse than the first time. And the storm was getting stronger and stronger. The strong wind carried them away from the coast. All the sailors and the men in the ship were frightened, terrified. Now, terrified means to feel afraid, scared, frightened. Frightened of what? Frightened of the storm. The men cried loudly to face the misery, death. Many bad thoughts came in their mind. One of the men cried by the horrible thoughts that came in his mind. But if the storm takes their ship to the land of cannibals, now here cannibal means the people who eat men's flesh also without being cooked. Now imagine the wild tribe, and these cannibals are mostly tribal people. Now imagine the wild this thing tribals tearing the person apart, tearing them apart and eating them. They the very thought trembled them. Now here trembled means to shake with fear, and terror means to be scared or frightened. As the thoughts were scaring them, then one of the men cried that that he had seen the land. Well, on hearing the word land, all the men inside the cabin came all rushing out from the cabin to see the land. Now, cabin means a small cabin, a small room in the ship where most of the facilities what a man requires during the journey is there, like the men, like the bed, food items, table, chair, everything is there in that cabin. And at that moment, their ship hit a sandbank, which was about 2 miles away from the land. Then what happened next? When they came out of their cabin, and what they saw was more worst. Robinson Crusoe remarked that the thoughts of strong waves and the swelling of ship, and also the thought of the wild tribal men making them their meals, whatever it was. But whatever the horrible thoughts that came into their mind, the ultimate was that they all have to die now. Why? Because their ship was stuck in the sandbank. Captain ordered his sailor to throw a boat and a board on it, as the ship will not be able to hold them long. Now, aboard this thing means to get into the ship. Now, there were 11 sailors on the boat, and in this merciless storm, they all set off in the boat, hoping that God might show some mercy on them and save their life from the horrible, violent storm. And here, Robinson Crusoe thought that they cannot stay long on the ocean, as the boat was floating, or if they want to proceed further, they have to row the boat, or else they might drown in the sea. So he asked all the men to row hard as they could. Now all the men, they were on the boat, were rowing hard, as if they were going for an execution. Execution means here the killing of a person. Now as they were approaching the land looked more frightening than the sea. Now why the land was looking more frightened than the sea for them? Because they had already discussed in the above passage that there are tribal people in the island who wait for the men to come, and what does these tribal people do? They kill them and make them their food. Robinson Crusoe, he shrieked. Now shriek means to shout in a shrilling voice, that they have almost reached the shore. The wave was so strong that it would take their boat, but they had a doubt that it might hit the rock. Now, if their boat hit, it might break into pieces. Now, while hitting the boat, they might while hitting the boat means when the boat hits the rock, they might also get hurt badly. All the 11 men on the boat rowed hard as they could, but suddenly a huge wave lifted them into the air. The size of the wave was as high as a mountain and threw them out of the boat into the wild storm in the sea. Sank under the water. I was a good swimmer, but the water was so rough that I could not get my breath. But that same wave carried me forward towards the shore and left me there half dead. I struggled to my feet and started to walk forward. Soon a second wave, as high as a hill, came after me and buried me 20 or 30 feet. I could not move it. I held my breath and swam the land when my lungs were almost bursting. I put my feet down and felt the sand under them. As soon as the wave had gone, I ran as fast as I could, afraid that another wave might pull me back. I could not get away from that angry sea. Twice more it lifted me up and threw me against large rocks. They bruised my head and side, but I held onto the rock whenever the waves broke over my head. Then I ran. In this way I was able to climb the cliffs. At last I lay on the grass at the top and was violently sick. When they were in the sea, Robinson Crusoe sank under the water. Though he was a good swimmer and the storm was very strong, ferocious, and he was able to fight back the rough waves. He was finding hard to breathe. Somehow he was able to face the dangerous waves. The waves carried him to the shore. He was half dead of the struggling in the water. After some time, when he gained his strength, he got up on his feet and began to walk. Then again, the second wave came, which was as high as a hill, and buried him. Now here buried means to cover him up with water. Now the water covered him about 20 to 30 feet that he could not avoid it. The waves drew him back again, but he held his breath and began to swim again towards the land. His lungs were filled with water. He forcibly pushed his feet into the sand to hold the grip of his movement. As the waves had gone, he ran as fast as he could towards the land to avoid another wave to pull him back again into the sea. But it seems that the sea was very angry with him. He wanted to take him into the sea. It began again and again and dragged him into the sea. Now, dragged here means to pull forcibly. He was lifted in the water many times and was thrown on the rocks or sand, that he got many bruises and wounds. But he never gave up his hope, and he tried to save himself from the wrath of the waves. Now here wrath means W-R-A-T-H. Wrath means the anger of the waves, the storm. I looked out to sea, hoping to catch sight of my fellow soldiers, but I only glimpsed 3 hats and 2 shoes floating on the water. My ship was so far out of sea that I wonder how I had ever got to dry land. I ran up and down the shore. Help! Help me! I shouted in terror. I had no food, no house, no clothes. The wild animals will eat me. Help! Almost I was tired and fainted. What I kept watch until night fell, but no one came. At last I pulled myself up into a tree away from danger and slept very well even though it rained all night. But I was completely alone. Now, children, somehow he managed to climb the cliffs. Now, he was feeling sick and tired because he was trying to save himself all the time from the water. When after a while he looked out at the sea. Why he looked out of the sea? He was trying to search his fellow travelers. Now, fellow travelers means the soldiers who were with him in the boat. Now, but all he could see was their hats and shoes. That means that no one had survived except him. All of them had died, even the captain and the soldiers. Only he was left. And why he was left? All because he was a good swimmer. Now he cried out loudly for help. He ran hither and thither, asking for help. Please help me, help me. But no one came forward to help him. And what? There was no food for him, no house to stay inside, no clothes, nothing he had. All he was that was what he was left with the wild animals in the show. So definitely he this thing living without the food and living this thing and living and the thoughts of the animals scared him. So what he did, he then climbed up the tree and he was so tired and exhausted that he went off to sleep. The whole night it rained, but still nothing affected him. He was so tired, so very tired that he kept on sleeping. In the morning, to my great surprise, I saw that the ship had floated in it with high tide and was much nearer to the island. The sea was very calm. I had only one thought in my mind. If we had waited for the storm to die down, we would all have reached this shore. I sat and wept for my friends. I went down to the seashore. I shall have to swim out to the to the ship. I thought I must go as soon as possible before she breaks up. I reached the ship easily, but how could I get on aboard? I swam across until I saw a rope hanging down. I managed to reach it and I swung onto the deck. Luckily, all the ship's food was still dry: biscuit, bread, flour, rice, and some dried meat. There was no such there was no much to take with me that I made a small raft from the ship's mast and the sails. In the morning, when he got up, he was surprised to see his ship floating in the sea, sailing near the shore. The sea was calm. The waves of the ship were moving gently and gracefully. Robinson Crusoe thought if only the ship had calmed last night, all his friends would have saved and alive. He wept for his friends. Then he gathered his feeling and went down the seashore. He thought he had to swim to the ship to get whatever necessary things he required to survive in the island. He swam and gathered food, biscuits, bread, flour, rice, and some meat. Whatever he got, He gathered it and he kept it in a raft which he had made out of ship masts and sailed along with all the eatable items to the shore. As I was loading my raft, two cats came to watch and I decided to take them with me. At last I pushed away. I heard a loud splash behind me and I saw the captain's dog in the water. The faithful creature swam after me all the way to the shore. I went back to the ship many times after that. I found clothes, with a hammock, candles, rope, a gun, and gunpowder for it. And the most important of all, the carpenter's box of tool. Then one night, the wind blew hard, and in the morning, I saw that the ship had disappeared. As he was loading the eatable items from the ship, two cats appeared and they also came along with him. Now the captain's dog, who was alive, also came with the Robinson Crusoe to the shore. He went back again and again to the ship and got whatever uh, required things he got, necessity things he got. He brought them back like clothes, hammock. Then hammock is the axe. Then is candle, rope, gunpowder, which was very essential, and carpenter's box of tool, etc. And at night when the wind was blowing very hard, the ship also disappeared. Now here disappeared means to vanish, no longer to be seen. I had now been on land for 12 days. I must find out where I am. I told myself, perhaps I can walk inland and find people to help me. I saw a steep hill about a mile away. I climbed to the top and looked all around me. Tears sprang to my eyes. I was on an island. I wept. How will I ever get away? But I did not have much time to feel sorry for myself. I cannot live in a tree much longer, I thought. I shall make myself a little fortress, away from the hot sun and prowling animals. I must be away from the water's edge, but close enough to the sea to keep a watch for passing ship. I choose the place for my house on a small hill. I made a tent from the ship's sail and put it on the ledge under the rock. I cut up the ship's mast and placed a half circle of posts in front of my tent. Then I began to work my way into the rock of the hill to make a cellar from my house instead of a door to my fortress. I made a ladder which I pulled up whenever I went inside. Robinson Crusoe had been in that shore for 12 days and thought to know about where he was exactly and how could he get help from the people. He searched the whole area till he realized that it was an island. After 12 days, he realized that he cannot live on a tree. So he made a little fortress. A fortress means a house to live in order to protect himself from night, from the cold weather, from the hot weather, right, from the rainy season, then from the ferocious hungry animals. And he made his house on top of a hill so that he can keep a watch on the sea. Why? With the hope that someday a ship might pass by and he could get some help. He chose a place on a small hilltop. and where he could watch this thing sea. With the help of the sea mass woods from the tree, he made a small house with a door and a ladder to climb up the hilltop and to remove the ladder whenever he wants. Passed very quickly, so quickly that I began to keep a record of the days. I had no pen or paper or ink, so I put a large pot on the shore where I had landed and made a mark for every day that passed. At the top of the post, I nailed a cross and carved these words: I came on shore here the 30th of September 1659. I wished my dog could talk to me. I was sick and tired of hearing my own voice, but he was a great comforter to me as I worked. I had never used tools before, yet I found that with time and patience, I could make what I wanted. I made a table and chairs and shelves where I laid out all my belongings. I knocked nails unto the walls of rock to hang up my guns and anything else that I could hang up. It was a great pleasure to me to see all my kinds in such good order. More importantly, this work stopped me thinking about the danger I faced every day. I had enough to eat. Every day I went into the woods and shot goats and birds. I became unhappy when dark fell at 7 o'clock every night. When I was trying to rest or sleep, tremble thoughts came unto my mind. What would become of me? What if wild animals or wild man attacked me? I hardly dared to I hardly dared to think of the future. Passed by very quickly. To engage himself, what he did, he began to keep a record of each day. Since he had no ink, no paper, so he put a large post on the shore where he marked every day that passed. On the top of the cross, he had carved the date he had come on the shore. That is 30th September 1659. Good. Now, he really wished that his dog could speak to him because he hardly heard any human voice. He got bored of hearing his own voice. Then he could not even share his thoughts also to anyone. He was dying to hear human being's voice. But on the other hand, he was having a very comfortable life also. But now how he spent his time? He made some chairs, a table, fish shelves, and he had to here he had to learn here the patience and how to keep himself busy, how to spend his time. So to utilize his time, he began to use his toolbox, which he had never used it before. He made shelves where he kept his belongings neatly and properly. He hung his nails on the rock, and he made other hooking on the rocks where he could hang anything he desires. Then he began to think about forthcoming danger, like food, the to encounter dangers like how when animal comes and how he should try to save himself. So he went into the jungle, and then he shot shot birds, goats, and cut woods to supply to his needs. But daytime it was okay for him, but during the night he used to become unhappy when the dark falls at 7 o'clock. He could not move about freely. He had to stay at home to prevent himself from the wild animals. So, when he is trying to sleep, many horrible thoughts came back into his mind, like this thing, the tribals attacking him, then how he's going to protect, how would he approach the wild animals and protect himself, then how long he would be facing such type of life to survive in this island. And this thing, he thought, what would be his future? Is it going to be in dark, lonely in this island, or whether he will be able to go back to his hometown? That's it for the day, children. Now go through the videos carefully, and whatever like the PDF has been given to you, please make a separate copy, single line copy, small one, a separate copy, and you write whatever we are giving it in your PDF. And I hope you enjoyed my video, and be a good child, stay good and stay safe.